It's 2 minutes and then no one's here, but it's all right. 2 minutes and then I'll start this video. This is the old table. No one's here. No one's here. I'm just gonna do this anyway. This is kind of a test run for other things I'm doing. So I'm waiting for 2, because that's what they said. Oh my god, 2 minutes of live boring video. I'll start opening this. Okay, this is a race car drawing. This was from Sega. I gotta keep waiting. This was from Sega. Oh, about the 90s, late 90s era. So that was one. This got stencilable in a car, technically. So did this. We're just prepping. We have 1 minute left. Almost 1 minute. So, again, this is Spitz the dog. This was from Sega Dreamcast. I think we're here. Well, damn. Nobody's here. Okay, 1 minute. Stupid, started too soon. I didn't want it to bug out. Okay, 1:59. Switch over. Anyway, Spitz the dog, 1:59. I can't wait for the stupid thing to flip. Okay, live auction started. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1. Spitz the dog, live auction. This is for video game. And here we have Spitz the dog, photocopy. That's not in the auction. This is Moigel? Heugel from the Sega. Okay, this is video game concept, illustration board, pen and ink. I'll leave this on if I have any viewers. There's no viewers. You can come back and edit on this later. So anyway, I'll give you a zoom of this. This is War at the Planet If. Yeah, there's no other. Yeah, the planet's named If. So that's one. Photocopy, not in the auction. Original drawing. 1990, video game concept. Drawing of letters for video game. Okay, this was a boss. I thought that Story 2 stole this design. This precurses that, but their guy was purple, my guy was purple, their guys had horns. Who knows? Anyway, there is no one live on here, but people will see it later. They can still do it. Okay, that's that. Pen and ink. Mostly marker. Same video game. It's called Freak Boy. So there's character design for that. Pen and ink, Bristol paper. Watercolor paper. Concept drawing. Spot Goes to Hollywood. This looks like it's Jurassic era. Here we have the Freak Boy himself. This is on illustration board. Pen and ink and watercolor. This has got some aliens. There's Freak Boy and there's the pagoda. This was a good concept design. This was a good thing that was happening, and then it got ruined by ego, like everything does. Okay, here we have a concept drawing, Hunchback of Notre Dame. This is for Spot Goes to Hollywood video game. Dungeon, watercolor paper. Looks like I can't read the brand, but probably Aquarelle. This is Dungeon. You can see everybody's getting tortured. Watercolor paper, brown ink. Pagoda concept. Concept page. Ice pagodas. Freak Boy. Marker. Jurassic era. This would have a character running across it, maybe bones falling off. Typical video game. This, you can look at it, was 94. Dinosaur Graveyard. So that was the Jurassic part of the movies of this game that was on the first PlayStation. Okay, here we have more of a refined 94. Watercolor paper, probably the same sheet. All concept. These are bridges. You know, most likely the bones would fall away. Okay, this was animated. This was in the game. This was a stained glass of a bat that flew out. Isometric. Spot Goes to Hollywood. This was, I guess, some sketches. oh, this character was made in 3D. Okay. The hateful, toyful addict that never got made. It was horror. So everything's freaky, horrible nursery. Okay, here we have, I believe this came in as well. This would have been the Escape Indiana Jones style thing on a minecart. Okay, here we have, oh, this is a whole, this would go as one. Eel. I'm not sure, this is obviously Freak Boy era. I guess these were early concepts for that. Yeah, obviously the platform. I'm trying to get the look and feel. This is going as one. I don't think. Okay, illustration here. This is, I don't quite remember what happened with this one, but it's, if you could see, it was an alien kid was the whole idea. Somebody probably ordered this, you know, faked me out and never paid, because I have a series of these things, but it never went anywhere. I tend to remember things that paid me. And this is probably just a ignorant person that wasted my time. This is Ecomouse. So I did some stuff for Ecomouse, 93. But again, this was another probably waste of time, effort. A lot of things with the artists, they try to rip it. They just make you work for free and rip you off. Big Dogs, I think, failed clothing company. Maybe it's still around. Okay, so this we have a comic. This was me trying to get a more modernized comic at the time. This would have been early 90s. Tales from the Cosmic Genius. You'll see different versions of him. He started in the 80s. I just like these because they're mermaids. That's obviously mermaid. That's a pretty little drawing. Some of these things, basically, I'm going to take and just scan them, make them into clothing. There's obviously, must have been some kind of thumbnail for something. I'm not sure if it's quite to the level of painting thumbnails. Here is the Cosmic Genius as he was first created. I love this line. Fail ye, sugar woman. No one defeats the Cosmic Genius. Not until you take my strudel. Cosmic Genius. That was actually off of my grandmother, as horrible as that sounds. It's pretty wrong, but at the time, I guess people popped up. I draw like that differently than this now. Okay, here we go. This is obviously, to me, Freak Boy. So this had to do with some kind of jungle or some kind of crazy alien. Here we have again Freak Boy. Very well designed thing. It's coming together. Just people are stupid. Looks like a pig. I should make a whole character out of a pagoda pig. Okay, here we have the alien thing again. So I'm not quite sure where this went and why I obviously didn't get paid, because I would have remembered it. But there's the bully. There's the girl. This is 94. So I'm not really sure why this went. This could have been the jerk who had a concept and then he, sorry. I don't think that highly on people that ripped me off. Sorry about that. But yeah, obviously we were going to animate the sucker. So this would have been a concept sheet, animation sheet. Okay, here we have War at the Planet F. This is, let's see where it is, 1995. So I signed everything like my first name and PM and Patrick for a while, and that's all Moran. I had that tete-a-tete in Northern California about that with someone. He told me how strong my last name is and I should brand myself like that. And I've been doing it ever since. It was an honest thing. This is War at the Planet F. So we were going to have a war at the planet F. You get the point. Okay. I have this. This is all mine, by the way. I still own it, so don't run away with War at the Planet F. It's one of my projects. I technically own it. I don't know if I'm going to advance it, but you can't steal the name without paying me. There you go. So yeah, Hammer of the Gods right there. Okay, so that's the illustration. Okay, what do we have? Illustration again, War at the Planet F. So we have the year 1995. It's Patrick J. Moran. So there you can see. See, comics are not really foreign to me. They simply are not. Here we have, it looks like the locust. He was vicious, so that must have, I wonder if I saw the look. I must have seen the locust at that point. That's kind of exactly what it looked like. So it had a human hand. As odd as that sounds. There you go. I love the hand. Look at that guy. So later on, I'm not really going to dwell on it, but all this stuff was stolen and made into another game because, you know, they'd rather just steal from me than give me credit and helping me out, you know. I don't want to name the name because it's too close to home. I don't speak to that person anymore, but not really unrelated. Just, you know, back then at that time, I just figured they'd just burn themselves out. Once they didn't have exposure to me, they'd have to think up something themselves. And, I mean, technically it did because they just run out of gas, you know, but where am I left? I was the one that was kind of executed and sent aside. This is a character that was in a game. Everything got weird at that game. I don't know what this is, but it's probably something else. It's obviously Rocket 3. I think it's cool. It was a DJ, but I don't know if there's a real Rocket 3 or they wanted to get a logo and didn't pay me, whatever the story is. This again, this would have been, what does it say? Horror Swamp, the 94. Okay, so now this is a little more. Now this is 95. Now this is a video game concept. There's the freak boy himself. You know, nothing wrong with the development of this game. Just ego. Okay, so obviously I did a lot of work for this dude that probably never paid me. But here you could see the alien kid could get things out of his fingers. I was at a weird stylistic point, semi-realistic. Very illustrative, you know. In animation, that would have had to been way toned down to work, but now you see it working today in the 3D. They'll do all this stuff. Back then, I was a rebel. Okay, this is somebody near and dear to me. This was a t-shirt design. It's art. Lost a lot of friends over the years. This is homage. Okay, here we have Van Bode. Obviously, was it affected me as an artist when I was young, which goes back to Herogonanimous Bosch. Herogonanimous. Okay, these are actually I'm going to use. I'm going to scan these and make clothing out of these. So they're just cool, you know. But this was Barnyard Fight. I guess it was Street Fighter in a barnyard, which would have been totally rad. But again, people are stupid. Okay, this is. Okay, these are going to be all, see if you look, they're like boink, 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 run up the head, boink, 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 platform gaming. Goes on further. Going to be watercolor, pen and ink, watercolor, marker, probably marker. Okay, again, the mural that didn't make it. Why not? I don't know. People always think they want something else. It could have been a little more diverse in the subject matter of the people, but that could have worked out. Oh, I like the guy feeding the poodle under the table. That's fun. What year was this? So this would have been, I'm guessing this is around 2004, 5? It was the side of a building in New York. It was going to be a mural. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think I actually am using the street itself. Okay, so this one is a party flyer. I don't want to discuss much about this. The person behind the party was quite nice. The other person in there, leave it at that. Okay, so this is War at the Planet F. This got quite interesting. There are some really interesting aspects of this. I mean, could perhaps explore this again later. Maybe I won't sell any of these. It doesn't look like the auction is going to be tremendous anyway, but it's fun. I'm precursing to do a bit of this. Tunisia project is giant, and I want to do a Patreon Okay, so here we have again War at the Planet If. Oh, no, there's nothing else. It's just War at the Planet If people don't get along. Okay, so there we go. I love these things. I'm still doing some of this now, if you noticed, when I pick up the animal heads. But yeah, this is how things were back then. So this again, let's get the title, and then I put the full signature. Okay, here we go. We're still going. Okay, so I'll tell you the game that this was stolen. I mean, the look was stolen in a game called first letter G, last letter S, AI. You can fill out the rest. Okay, that's where they took the little drone people in the look. The other thing, what it was it was a battlefield. And you had those little drones, and you try to navigate the platform-ish backgrounds and place them around, you know, the head commander, and then you could war against it. So you would actually want an outcome to a war. You'd either pick a side or play both sides. It was too intelligent for people to understand. But you possessed it, and that was taken, that theory of possession was stolen in another game. Okay, here we have a failed comic book sample page. I guess she's killing a squid. I always like to do female comics. My black and white, dark, you know, black style would be better, much better now. Actually, looking back, it's quite nice. Too psychedelic at the time. This is actually like very 70s in its presentation, the way they did books back then, comics. But yeah, I could always do a comic. That's a nice pose. Yeah, it's like you haven't seen that in comics since, or before. I'm not taking full credit for it. But yeah, there she is. She's rescuing someone. This is so 70s, it's funny. I could have found the reference. Oh, there's my big monster. See, a lot of these things, it's commonality, because if you draw to a certain, I mean, like this one. You've seen variations of this forever. And the reason why, it's because it's a horse skull or a variation of a dog skull. And so, like, everybody picks up on it. Once you get a certain amount of art prowess to you, you can pick that up. So anyway, we're coming near the end. Oh, this was, a Stan Lee liked it, but somebody screwed with me. And this is a Blood Brothers. And I did a faux pas by, I was asked by them to, this was around the time Spawn gutted them. Okay, this one I'm going to scan and make into a t-shirt for that astrological sign. That's pretty rad. But this is the Barnyard Fighter. Oh, I guess this was, pardon, but that was his fight. His fight technique, he could butt people, which is fun. Okay, so here we're back at the War at the Planet If. And, you know, it's not unlike everything else you've seen in the science fiction era. Obviously, I mean, but this is what, 95? So this is before the new Star Wars started coming. But his head was basically severed. He had mob boss suffered an assassination attempt. And his head kind of floated around in this, and people dropped shrimp in the top. See? And that's how he ate. Okay, this character was actually made in 3D, and this was a fighter. It's kind of based off of a rabbit, and when it got painted, it looked like a John Deere tractor. It was quite funny. Again, I don't know if I'll use this, but I certainly can for a t-shirt. That is going to, that's like a dog. That's a barnyard fighter fighting a goose. I don't see the goose as a special move. It's a little so common. Back then I wasn't in. This is a cool one. This is I could use this one as well. This is a barnyard owl. So, there you go. Owl. Okay, here we the barnyard turkey. They were all like massive Mortal Kombat, but barnyard animals. Which will probably somebody will do now that I mentioned it. Back then they wouldn't do it. And here's obviously. And there was going to be a crowd of people watching. Okay, where are we? We're almost at the end. I think this will pick up viewers later when it's done. People really like to stop their day for this. I don't care, it's fun. That's a rabbit. I could still use that one. And certainly could use this biting snapping turtle. And finally, Freak Boy against the Major Boss. And then we have one last Freak Boy. And we're going to try this again. This is somewhat successful, at least for me technically. I'm not happy that I'm using a cell phone. I wanted to use a mounted camera, but everything is out of date. But this would have been a world he runs around in. Okay.